Hi friends, welcome back to another Planty video. My name is Shannon, this is Planted386, and we are currently in the middle of working through this houseplant collection. So the last video I posted was the Planty corner that we're sitting in. I thought it'd be appropriate to do this space first because this is genuinely where I like to just come and hang out. It's often where I find myself daydreaming and just like taking a break from the world right here on this stool. So yeah, we started out here. The video ended up being an hour long, so we have to break it up into parts. So today we're gonna do the living room, we're gonna do the dining room, and any other parts of the house that I may have plants scattered about. After that, if there's time, we'll go outside and do the pergola tour. If not, I'll do a part 3. We'll come to that at the end. We'll regroup, but I'm thinking we're probably gonna have to do a part 3. Anyways, I'm so glad that you guys are here. Every time you leave me a comment, I get so excited. I love this community here on YouTube. Everybody has been so kind. And really that's what it's been about for me. So if you are into Planty content, I make it all over the internet. So here, TikTok, Instagram, what are the other ones? All of them. I'm everywhere under Planted386. I would love to have you follow me there. Reach out, connect, tell me what your favorite houseplant is, and without further ado, let's get into part 2. Okay, so coming in, you're gonna see our boxer puppy. This is life, battling a boxer puppy and a white leather couch. Yet he thinks he owns the home. Anyways, this corner is where we're gonna go. So this is the living room. And then after that, we're gonna kind of walk back over here. I had someone comment that they liked this sort of view, the point of view. So just wanted to make sure I included that. So basically we'll come back around and we'll do the dining room area. So I have this window here, there's a few plants down there, and then the hutch, these plants here. We did just have our 4th of July party, so that's actually remnants of what's left behind and our neighbors' dishes that are needing to be returned. So don't mind a little bit of the mess. Anyways, that's the point of view, and let's dive in. All right, starting at the end of the couch. So this is kind of, you know, we were just kind of sitting there talking. So now we're here on the other side of the couch, and I have my large Thai constellation. She is pretty much in every video. I love that these leaves kind of just have spread out and they're really just trying for the light. I love it. She's got a decent amount of variegation, and I would say she's about a year old now. I've had her. And then right here next to her, this is my Monstera aurea. I got her a few months back, probably in March, as a 3-leaf cutting. And she came to me in the mail. I absolutely love her. That was her most recent leaf. So it seems like the variegation is just getting nicer and nicer. And then this is her newest one. One thing I love so much about this plant is you don't really know what you're getting. It's kind of like the Florida Beauty. It almost looks like it's just going to be a plain green leaf, but as it matures, this beautiful coloring sort of emerges. And I love that. So here I have it's a mermaid tail cactus. There is a full-on name. It's Euphorbia lactea cristata. I just read my tag. Anyways, she has done nothing for me yet, but nonetheless, keep her here in the window. She's super cool. Really like her. And I keep a lot of our succulents here. So this is a red ripsalis. I got this as just a teeny tiny little plant. I think it was like maybe $3 or $4. So it was super duper small. And I love how she sun stresses, and she's just really loving this corner. This is my Mother of Millions or Mother of Thousands. Oh, what's the name? Mother of Millions? This was teeny tiny not so long ago. This is her recent acquisition, and it's already taking over, which I know it is a species that likes to kind of take over. And so I do have it just growing in this pot. That way I can kind of control it. And down here, I just have another little sweet little cactus. She blooms for me pretty often. She actually has a dead bloom right there. This is an apple cactus. Let's see. Cereus pervianus, the apple cactus. This was so teeny tiny. I actually just covered all of these, you guys, in my cacti and succulent video. So I don't want to get like too in depth, but yeah. I just got her not too long ago, teeny tiny. She's grown like crazy. Just a little euphorbia here. I can't even read the tag. You'll have to watch the video. A lot of them I don't know, like, their technical names. She is getting a little bit of yellowing there, though. That's not good. And then in this corner, I just have a little Syngonium elbow. This very interesting, cool little cactus. He's a recent acquisition. I actually did not film him in that video because I didn't even have him yet. And yeah, I don't really have a fuzzy cactus like that. And then this is just my little pickle plant succulent. It's nice to see that it's giving me some new growth there because this guy, he wasn't doing so hot. I mean, he wasn't doing much of anything. But anyways, these guys just kind of live here below the sill. They get quite a bit of light and yeah, they do all right. And then over here, kind of get a little glimpse of the side yard. We have a lot of our trees that I have not shown on the channel yet. Just a little sneak peek of those. 2 of them we need to get in the ground. Anyway, this is a unicorn cactus. I know we're backlit, you guys, so like I said, I'm going to try to breeze through this and not take too much time. This is another little cactus that I got from the plant swap. We're actually having a plant swap tomorrow. I'm super excited. The first Sunday of every month we do it. So yeah. This is another guy I got from a plant swap. This is a Sansevieria, now labeled Dracaena. Boncel, I believe, is the name. I could be Cylindrica, one of those. And then this is a Rhipsalis. This has grown to be, you guys, one of my most precious plants. And I know it's just a simple little Rhipsalis, but I cannot tell you how much this plant brings me joy. Just how cool it is. It grows like a weed. And I think because I got it as such a teeny tiny little plant, it was probably maybe like, I probably got it like something around just like those little sprigs. And it's now grown to be this huge thing. And I just think it looks so wispy, graceful, and beautiful, like on this pedestal. And when the light comes in the afternoon and the way that it hits, it's just, this whole row is so beautiful. I'll try to get a photo of what I'm talking about and describing, and I'll try to clip it in so you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about. And so yeah, that's pretty much the sill where a lot of those little cacti and succulents live, and then Sampy and JMO hanging out. Okay, and just next to that window, so the window's right there, is this sort of corner here, and the TV is there, just so you have like a point of context. But this corner gets very, very minimal light. Like really and truly, I want to supplement some lighting. We talked about this in the last video too. I wanted to add like a pendant light above my Millsbow tall, and I think I want to do the same thing here. I think that would solve a lot of the lighting issues and really open up the space to allow, you know, maybe even a few more plants to come in. But anyways, let's get into it. So we'll just take care of her first because she's so, you cannot miss her. This is my very first Anthurium, the love of my life, the plant that got me into, or I should say the Anthurium that got me into Anthuriums. This girl right here. I remember being so intrigued by them and being so terrified. Just, I don't know, something about their beauty made me think that they would be so difficult to grow. Turns out she's been nothing but a joy. She has seen some, you know, better days. but I've never chopped her. I have her growing in this massive pot. She recently did give me berries, so she is a mother. And yeah, so I mean, like this leaf, it's like you can't even really see. She's been through it. So we've given her a larger pot. She is telling me that she's recovering. She's giving me this beautiful leaf. It's a little bit wonky, but I think once it expands, it's gonna be lovely. I love that it's gonna face this direction. And yeah, we have some work to do. I need to get in here and kind of like, obviously like take this leaf out. And we do have another one coming. There's multiple, she's pupped, so there's multiple plants in here. I could go on and on about this plant. I'm not gonna do that. I've already wasted enough time. But anyways, she's amazing. And then this is my Billietier, and you know, the more this plant grows, the more and more I love it. I loved it from the beginning. I had it, it was just teeny tiny, like little, you guys. I think I paid $15, so we're talking a baby. So yeah, the more she's grown, the more leaves she's given me. She gives me some cute little weird ones here and there. The more I fall in love with her. I also have decided I'm not going to grow her on a pole because I think because these leaves are so wonky as they are, I think I want to just embrace that and let this go as it may. So yeah, I'm really appreciating that. I'm just appreciating the way that she's sort of trailing and finding her own way. This back here is my clavigerum. It looks like we have a leaf that is on the way out. This is her most recent. So she's doing all right. I moved her over here, and so she's definitely taking her time to acclimate. She's also, you know, an ambient now. She's gonna be fine. She's gonna be fine. She's just taking her time. This is such a cool plant. I wouldn't mind perhaps like crossing these two if ever I can get this one to flower. I think we're almost there. I think that could be super cool. But I do have her in semi-hydro. I think I need to take, her roots look great, so it's not about that. I think she's just sort of acclimating. But anyways, that's sort of that little trio there. And then I do have one of my few surviving alocasias. She's my ride or die. This is Alocasia longiloba. I've had her now probably going on a year, and the fact that she's still here speaks volumes to me because Alocasia and I do not get along. She's had these same leaves forever, and I think if I gave her a more light, I think she would really thrive. So yeah, I would really like to put one sort of simple pendant grow light right here. So yeah, that's that corner. And then if we just walk over here, I have just a couple plants here. This is my Scindapsus exotica. I love her. She is one of my absolute favorite plants. Can't get enough. I don't know. There's something about these leaves. She's always happy. She's always just good, you know? Like she's very low maintenance, living in very low light. And I think she just makes such a beautiful staple piece in a living room. Like just how beautiful. She also requires a turn here and there just because she does chase light. So I do find that I have to kind of shift her around a bit. But outside of that, these two here give me absolute no troubles, no pests, no issues. This is my Baltic blue pothos or epipremnum. I believe epipremnum, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. She has a few yellow leaves. She also needs a little bit of a turn. I didn't go through, you guys, and like trim anything up. I really wanted it to be kind of authentic. I do that weekly. And it is watering day. Instead of watering, I'm kind of filming, but, yeah, I mean, this is realistic. So I just have her kind of going up this totem, and I just keep wrapping her, you know, very easy though. If you ever see one and you want just a little something to jazz up a corner that's gonna like literally take no time, these two are great options. All right, so I've turned around and we're gonna head towards this window. I have recently added these hanging planters to the window, and I have to tell you, I really can't describe how much joy this brings me, these plants in the window. It's just, I don't know, there's some, what can I say? There's something so charming about it. I guess that's the words I'm looking for. So anyway, we have up here, I'm just gonna pull it down. This is a little cutting of a philodendron white princess, I believe. Not looking so hot, pretty sure it's on its way out. That was one that Samson got into and I tried to save it. It had rerooted and I tried to transfer it to soil. Forgot it way up here. Probably dried out too many times, so you know, that's on me. Anyway, this is my Hoya Croniana Super Splash, I believe. One of those variations, but she's doing good, nice and full. I do see some new growth, which makes me happy. This is actually one I found from the big box store, and I'm pleased to say it was good. It was one of those good finds, you know. Next to her, I have a disco ball planter, my larger of the two. And okay, guys, sorry. My camera overheated. We're gonna pick up where we left off. This is Ripsalis micrantha, and oh my goodness, I just love me a good Ripsalis. They just look so beautiful and delicate hanging in a window. I don't know, there's just something about them. This is probably too large for this space. I understand that. I really feel like this is probably something I do need to like move to our pergola. But this is a euphorbia. Ooh, euphorbia. Oh my goodness, it's such a strange name. Here, let me pull the tag. Euphorbia gingola, shooting stars. Anyways, that is her. She does get these really pretty like pink flowers. So it's almost like a tomato vine, you guys, where like this is the sucker and then this is the part where like the tomato comes out. It's the strangest plant, but it is so cool nonetheless. It definitely needs to be watered. Like I said, today's watering day, and every time my camera overheats, I've been watering. Next to that, well, we'll go around. This is just a Stanleyana albo, Monstera Stanleyana albo. This vine actually is just like going all over the place. This is a separate vine down here. It's definitely something I need to propagate. It's something that I got on a Costa Farms release. And I do plan on doing something really pretty with this plant. I just haven't had the time to kind of like do that, but it is definitely on my to-do list. Back up here, I have Anthurium spectable. This Anthurium is one that I don't really hear many people talk about. To be honest, I never hear anyone talk about it. But it's one that I'm kind of experimenting with a little bit. It's definitely one that, I mean, I've put this through the ringer. I had it at one point in an orchid basket with just moss. It was drying out constantly. So I did put it in this hanging planter with, you know, some soil. It also dries out all the time. I also have it in this very bright spot. So I'm kind of doing all the things that typically I would think an Anthurium wouldn't like, but it just still plugs on. It's not a very quick grower, at least in my experience, and it's probably because of the way that I'm growing it. But I just think it looks so beautiful hanging in this basket in the window. I don't know. I really love it. I just love it right here. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm choosing aesthetic over the plant, which I know isn't the best, but you know. This is another weirdo, but I love it. Another, in my opinion, underrated plant. This is a Cissus quadrangularis. I have talked about this several times on the channel, so I don't want to like
talk about it again. I love it. I could talk about it again, but I don't want you guys to get sick of hearing about it. Anyways, it's a super strange plant. Look into it. It has grown quite a bit for me. It's not the fastest grower, but if you water it regularly, like this is one that wants more water than you might think. But anyway, yeah, I love the way he looks in this kind of like beaded planter, and I love his little weirdo leaves. Yeah, he's just cool. Okay, so down here I have, this is my most recent acquisition, and this is my Anthurium, variegated Anthurium water dragon, and I love her, you guys. I love her so much. She's got a new leaf coming, which pleases me so much because I did pot her into a larger pot, and this is actually her cover pot. So let me put her back in it. I think this was staying a little too damp, like inside the pot, and it caused some edema issues. You can kind of see it even on this new leaf. So yeah, I freaked out a bit. Anyways, I have a reel on this plant, repotting it because her roots were so cool. They were so big. Anyways, this may even be too small of a pot. You know, I didn't have like a larger pot, and I may consider repotting her one more time into a final like nice size pot after this leaf unfurls. But yeah, she's so beautiful. I love these self-heading anthuriums. I think they're really underrated. I don't hear a lot of people like bragging on about them, but they're pretty easy in my experience, and they just look so beautiful. Next to that is my Scindapsus argyraeus. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Another really easy one. I just put her in this like honestly way too big of a pot terracotta, but my hope was that I'm just going to keep vining her around and around and around until I get a nice full plant, and then I'm going to let her start to tendril over. She loves this spot. The terracotta keeps me from overwatering, and gosh, I just love these leaves. I could look at them for hours. Back here is an Amplissimum Silver Streak, not doing the best. I do have it in semi-hydro. It's got this huge, long, massive vine. Not my favorite plant either. It's honestly one I'm going to consider parting ways with. I'll probably try to propagate this into a prop box, let it get some, you know, roots, and honestly get rid of it. I am not wild about these vining plants where it like has to be on a pole or it refuses to put out leaves. It's just not for me. Anyways, next to her is my Florida green, my philodendron Florida green. And I have to say, you guys, honestly, this plant she is one of my faves. Like as far as a cool, jungly, amazing, like, there you go. Gives you all the jungle vibes. Look at these beautiful leaves. Oh my goodness. So I've had her for a while. She is one of my older ladies, and there's just something about it. I've propagated this plant several times. I've had good luck with my propagations. It's pretty easy going. I've actually added other vines, like this guy down here is a whole separate vine, and that was a prop that I took. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to fill up this main vine. You know what I mean? I'd like a huge, big, full one of these. This is one I would definitely extend the pole. It's also one that doesn't mind just being on a cocoa pole, you know? And that's the kind of the plant, that's the kind of vibe I want. Easy peasy. Okay, next to that is my philodendron gigas. I just recently took cuttings of. She's definitely thirsty. I can always tell because her leaves start to curl in. This plant did amazing for me last summer. It's not doing bad. It's just not doing great, you know? It would probably prefer to live outside, and in all honesty, that's when it was doing its best, is when I had it outside. But it's a whole issue when you bring it inside. You have to deal with pest issues. You have to make sure there's, you know, thrips and, you know, or no thrips. And so I don't know. I just kind of want her to grow right here. You know what I mean? And I think she likes this spot. It's just one of those things where I'll show you the cuttings that I took in a minute. They're beautiful. She's just trying to reestablish, you know? So she looks a little worse for wear. And then behind that is my Monstera Esqueleto. I am currently trying to air layer. This is one, again, I don't mind having on a pole. I don't mind maintaining the pole. I had to cut her because she got way too big. And so yeah, I had to take some cuttings. Anyways, or no, yes, I did cut her. I did cut her. I think I got rid of the cutting, I believe. And now she's got a new growth point coming, but what I want to do is chop her again. That way I have plenty of time. I can keep some of these like old large leaves. This is a plant that matured or sized up for me really, really easily, really quickly. And I just think, man, if you want jungle vibes like that, that's the way to go. She's so beautiful. Like, look at that, you guys. Stunning. And then up here is my, this is a fishtail cactus. Is that what they call it? I know it's like a euphorbia of some form. She's been super slow to grow for me. She does have a little bit of new growth coming there, but I'm sure it's because I have her in this super low light spot. She's never given me trouble, ever. And so, I don't know. I just love the way that she looks draped over the cabinet. And so, if she's not going to give me trouble, I'm going to leave her there. I want to first talk about the cabinet just really quickly. This was actually my first cabinet. I desperately wanted a way to kind of keep my plants protected throughout the winter months because, believe it or not, Florida does get very cold and we do freeze. So we found this on Marketplace and it ended up matching our chairs perfectly. So we picked it up, we brought it home. That's actually a grow light inside. It does have 3 different settings. And I can just kind of tap this button here. And it changes the light. So that's kind of the tea on the cabinet. I love it. And in actuality, this is perfect for growing like propagations is what I found. So I do have a little prop box in here and I have just random things successfully propagating and just some leca and moss. This is just some peperomia cuttings. This is kind of a cool find, guys. This is actually a cigar box, like a cigar humidifier or humidor. And you can see on the dial the humidity. And I have just some watermelon peperomia cuttings. I loved that the box was just like an clear acrylic box. I don't know. We saw it at the thrift store. John actually spotted it and I was like, oh my gosh, that would make like the coolest vibey prop box. And then up here, we don't have to go through this like one by one. A lot of the stuff is going to go to the plant swap tomorrow, but those are those gigas cuttings. So I just have them in a cloche here. This is an Alocasia Dawn. These are just some Tithy Meloides, Euphorbia Tithy Meloides cuttings I'll be taking to the swap. Most of this stuff is for the swap. This is a Rhaphidophora decursiva that I recently just took from the prop box here. A Philodendron tortum cutting that I will be taking to the swap. This is really the only plant that I'm going to be keeping, and this is Alocasia Pink Dragon. And then, yeah, basically what I do is I kind of start here, I get them going, and then I'll put them in whatever vessel they're going to go in, and then they go to the plant swap. We host the plant swaps every month, so as long as I have kind of like a rotation of plants going, there's always something for the swap, if that makes sense. And then down here, in this very dark spot, is my Monstera Peru. Now, she's definitely not liking this spot. Her leaves are yellowing, and honestly, this is one I may consider taking tomorrow to the swap and just kind of letting someone else love up on her a little bit. I don't know. I turn her this way, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I'll keep her. She is beautiful, and she's one of my oldest plants, but I just don't really have a space for her that's like got the right amount of light. And I don't know, I just feel like someone else would look at this and be like, oh my goodness, I love her textured leaves. So John plays a lot of music, and on top of the piano, we have a Raven ZZ, which was a plant swap thing. Hasn't grown very much. It's actually pretty slow to grow for me, but it's probably the fact that like I have it in a very dark spot. Again, this is a spot that, despite the fact that it's like right next to this window, it really doesn't get much light right here. This is just a little ant plant. It's been here forever and it hasn't really done much. This is another Mandula pothos. I have these everywhere just because I don't know, I think they are so beautiful. And I wanted to try growing one up a pole, but this one grows so slowly that hasn't really done anything. Again, probably the lack of light. And I also don't really water these plants up here as often as the rest of the plants. Just, they're kind of off the beaten path, I guess. And then over here is just a little fairy tale cactus. And I should probably move her out of this spot because I actually really enjoy her and I don't really get to look at her enough. But I do also feel like she looks really nice right here. So one of those things. And that's the view heading outside. Okay, and then this is the final room of the house where we have any plants. This is also the room that I pot plants up in, so it's always a little bit messy in here. Anyway, I have a Philodendron Ploumanii looking great. This plant gives me issues all the time with just spider mites, but I do have her in this rectangular pot. She has been growing pretty well for me, and I really don't have to water her that often. It's honestly these stunning leaves that make me like, oh my god. Beautiful. You can see on this one though, like where the spider mites have taken over. And down here is Rhaphidophora decursiva. This is kind of like the main mother plant, if you want to call it that I had that other cutting from. I did just recently put it in this pot. It definitely needs a drink, but we do have new growth coming. That's exciting. And then this over here is a little variegated Ansonii cutting. Just kind of starting to take off and do its thing. This actually used to be a really huge plant, but it consistently gave me issues with mealybugs, so I decided to just propagate it down to nothing, and so we're kind of starting from scratch. We do also have a grow tent right there. There's nothing in it currently, but this winter we will definitely be ready for anything that comes at us. And then down here you can see my mess. I'll show it to you. This is just like supplies, ponds, semi-hydros, stuff that I like, vessels. It's crazy. Up here is a Syngonium Wenlingeri. I believe that's how you say it. Definitely needs a little love. I need to take off these bottom leaves. She's probably thirsty, so I'll definitely do that after this video. This is a golden pothos. Doing beautiful, just kind of hanging out in this little glass crystal vessel. It's probably something I thrifted. And then down here is what was a Florida Beauty that reverted, and I just have her growing in this little jar. She's now, I guess, a Florida Green, and I'll probably put her, I'm probably going to take her to the plant swap, actually. That's probably where she's going to go tomorrow, to the plant swap. And then if no one takes her, then I'll probably pot her into that main pot with my mother plant and just let it vine up. And then in the bathroom, I do have, this is our spare bath, I do have just a little Sansevieria. Just kind of hanging out, you know? I like this little pot. I think he looks cute here. And then I have a Alocasia corazon in this window, giving me a new leaf. She is in pon. Yeah. And then above this shelf, I have a little African violet. a sad little African violet.
Okay guys, that's gonna be all for today's part of the houseplant tour. I am in the pergola now. I figured we could set it up here because this is where we're gonna be coming for the next video. I have another probably 50 plants out here just in the pergola that I would love to share with you. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, share, tell a friend. All of those things really help my channel, really helps people find me. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know there's a million other channels out there to watch, so thank you. I genuinely appreciate it. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.